Most conversations don't actually end when they end. They continue, not out loud, but internally. Something gets said, and even after the interaction is over, it keeps replaying. A sentence you said, a response you didn't expect, a tone that felt slightly off. And without even trying, the mind starts moving through it again, adjusting what could have been said differently, rehearsing better responses, interpreting what the other person meant, filling in gaps that weren't actually there. And it feels natural. It feels like you're just thinking about what happened. But what's really happening is the conversation hasn't ended. It's been picked back up, not in reality, but in thought. And once that happens, it carries forward, into the next moment, into the next interaction, sometimes into the rest of the day. A simple exchange turns into something that lingers, something that subtly shapes how you feel, something that sits in the background, unfinished. And most of the time, it's not even intense. It's just there, a quiet continuation. But every once in a while, something different happens. A conversation ends, and it actually ends. No replay, no second version of it running in the background. No need to go back and fix or understand anything. Just a clean stop. And in that, there's a noticeable shift. Nothing is being carried forward. There's no internal version of the conversation continuing alongside everything else. It's just over. And what comes next isn't affected by it. You're not adjusting based on what just happened. You're not holding on to how it felt. You're simply here, available for whatever is in front of you now. And that can feel surprisingly light. Because without that carryover, there's nothing to manage. No subtle tension about how something went. No quiet evaluation of yourself or the other person. No sense that something needs to be resolved later. It's just done. And what's interesting is that this doesn't come from trying to let conversations go. It doesn't come from telling yourself to stop overthinking. It's not the result of controlling thought. It's what happens when nothing is holding the conversation in place to begin with. Because if nothing is holding it, there's nothing to continue. It ends naturally. Words are spoken, and they're gone. Responses happen, and they're finished. The interaction moves, and then it's over. There's no need to carry it forward as something to revisit. No need to turn it into a reflection or a lesson. It was just an interaction, complete in the moment it happened. And without that extension, something becomes clear. Most of what feels like social pressure isn't actually happening in real time. It's happening afterward, in the replay, in the interpretation, in the version of the conversation that exists only in thought. And when that isn't there, interactions become simpler. Not perfect, not controlled, just lighter. There's no need to get everything right. No need to analyze how you came across. No need to shape yourself based on what just happened. Because nothing is being stored as something to adjust from. Each interaction stands on its own. It happens, and then it's gone. And what's left is a kind of openness. You're not carrying the last conversation into the next one. You're not stacking interactions on top of each other. You're not building an internal narrative of how things are going. You're just moving from one moment to the next. And that changes how conversations feel. They become more direct, more natural. Not because you're trying to be better at them, but because there's nothing interfering, nothing lingering, nothing shaping what's happening beyond what's actually there. You might notice it in small ways. Finishing a conversation and immediately feeling clear, not needing to check how it went, not needing to think about what was said, just moving on. Or being in the middle of talking and realizing there's no background commentary running alongside it. No second voice analyzing in real time. Just speaking, listening, responding, and then it's done. It's subtle, but it removes a lot. A lot of pressure, a lot of noise, a lot of unnecessary continuation. Because conversations don't actually need to stick. They don't need to be carried. They don't need to be turned into something more than what they were. They can simply happen and end. And when they do, there's nothing left behind. Nothing following you. Nothing shaping the next moment. Just a clean space for whatever comes next. If this resonates, you don't have to do anything with it. But if you want to keep exploring this, you can stay with the channel.